ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another week of excellent program here on Mega Powers Radio. It is June 24th, and we have just finished the conclusion of Monday Night Raw, and it was a relatively quiet evening. I'm going to be your host this evening, Mike Paden, from the Keeping Kayfabe podcast, and I have a few guests here from varying places as well. From the Smark Out Moment podcast, I have Mr. Anthony Mango. Tony, what's shaking this evening?
Not a whole lot. No more
bad.
Parkinson's jokes this week.
Oh, it's very special to have Tony here this evening because it is Tony's birthday, so everyone please join me in this rendition of Happy Birthday to you. Happy Birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tony. Happy birthday to you.
Next year, guys, do everybody a favor and hire Jillian. Thank you.
Hire her to stop you.
Oh, we probably drove away any listeners we already had. That's all right. Also on the board we have here tonight, we have Mr. Braeden Mayhew. Braeden, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great as usual. But relatively quiet night, I must say, Paden. Everybody just kind of like, yeah, it was Raw. Whereas last week was like, yeah, fuck yeah, it was Raw. A total difference in comparison of atmosphere, I must say.
Yeah, there was a lot to be excited for last week. Not only did we have that awesome Raw, but that was also right after Payback, which also had spirits really high. Yeah, so also we have here, and I just got him back in, Mr. Chris Jester. How you doing, Chris?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Absolutely tremendous. And we also have Mr. Drew White.
Hi.
Hi. And Paul Hibbard.
I hate to start out the show on a bad note, but my the mother of my godfather just died, Emma Wiedemann, Saturday around 7:45 a.m. I just want to give a shout out to her. Rest in peace, Emma. I love you and I miss you.
Oh my God, the way you said that, I thought like she just died, like now. You're like, I gotta go.
No. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to her. I'm sorry to bring you down.
That's actually very sweet. I'm sorry to make a joke out of that. That's not something to joke about, but
no, it's okay.
The way you were saying it, I was like, oh, this really is bad. Okay, I think we started off this show on enough.
Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah, we've gotten really awkward. So let's start talking about how Monday Night Raw was tonight. So I wish I could say of one big thing that really stuck out about it, but I can't even start that topic of conversation. So let's just start from the beginning of the show and run down how it went from there. The beginning of the show started with Daniel Bryan coming out into the ring and cutting a promo saying that all the way back to his days at NXT, he was always looked at as the weak link. He's interrupted by Randy Orton's music, who comes out. They're supposed to have a match, but the two of them end up brawling all the way on the outside of the ring, and the ref calls for a double DQ. It really shows how much these two hate each other.
Yeah.
It really shows how much these WWE refs are trying to act like baseball refs and take control of the whole fucking situation.
Hey, at least there's no instant replay again.
Yeah.
On that.
Oh, there's a notable thing we can say. I believe we went these whole 3 hours and we had, 2 references to the WWE?
And they were both in terms of voting for the main event. So
yeah, the thing that apps should be used for.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah, it was only for voting for the match type for the main event. So that's got to be a first within like a month.
It almost wasn't even like conspicuous by its absence. Like if you guys hadn't pointed out, I don't think I would even notice that it was gone.
It means two things. It either means that they feel like they've promoted it enough where people should know about it enough by now, or they realize that it just makes people angry and annoyed and they stop.
or they leave it to promote to other people.
What do you mean? I love the WWE app. It is the best app. I put on that app every day.
I did.
But has Vince really made enough money where he's not going to promote something 10 times during the show?
I just don't think he has to promote it 10 times. Like they've driven it down our throats so much that I feel like everyone who watches Raw enough knows about it now. They don't.
Hell, I had their app before they started promoting it, so
I know, Braeden.
That's something.
Did you get it? You got all your John Cena t-shirts?
Yeah, I do.
Braeden was like, first.
So after that, we had a segment with Vicky and Brad Maddox in the back.
Oh, yeah.
They're chatting about some random things. Daniel Bryan runs in screaming, no, this is not going to end on a DQ. I want another match at Randy Orton, and Vicky grants it to him. And, of course, she gives it with the caveat that the WWE audience will get to select the match. Actually, I think that was something Triple H added later on.
Can I just say, poor Vicky. This is the first night I've ever felt sorry for her.
Like she's working with Brad Maddox.
So not the night that Eddie Guerrero died. You didn't feel bad for her that
God.
Oh.
But I mean, she's gotten booed almost every night she's been in the WWE, and yeah, it's been fine. But tonight, I thought it was just a little bit too much because she's not really doing anything bad. She's just trying to keep order and try to make matches. I didn't think it was really necessary.
Sick of seeing her.
I didn't think it was really necessary. I don't mind seeing her.
Like the get off my fucking television type heat is exactly what that is.
Yeah, it's fun to pick on somebody, and that's an easy target.
Oh, absolutely.
Is it because she's a female? Is that why? Oh, okay.
That's because she's fat.
Oh.
She's lost a lot of weight. Come on, be nice.
I know.
She looks decent compared to what she looked like before.
I think she looks great.
All right, Michael Cole.
Yeah. I can't go that far.
So next we had Rhodes Scholars already in the ring, not getting a full entrance, taking on the team of Sheamus and Christian. I believe we spent majority of this match in our chat trying to come up with fun names for Sheamus and Christian. We have like Celtic Charisma.
And for Rhodes Scholars, Team Beardy Stashy.
Somebody created Team Great White North.
Great White North.
That was me. That was me.
Yes.
I'll take credit for that.
Great.
Nothing really to speak of here. Sheamus wins with a bro kick out of nowhere, which I'm sure made Braeden the happiest man in the world.
Wait, what? He won with a bro kick? What?
I actually thought they had him on the ropes that time. I was pretty convinced he might lose for once.
Sheamus wins, not Sheamus and Christian win. It's just Sheamus win.
Christian got beat down for the tag match, and then he did the hot tag, and Sheamus cleaned house till he won.
It's like
but
I
Christian
said.
There to take a beating.
It's like I said earlier. You could pair up Sheamus with a toaster, and Rhodes Scholars couldn't win.
I tell you what, though, the way that I've been getting screwed out of this fantasy league, I wouldn't be surprised if Sheamus won and Christian didn't get any points from me.
I know, Tony. I know how you feel. Like I've been getting screwed in this fantasy league too, man. It's horrible.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen how much Jack Swagger's been doing lately? God, ridiculous.
He hasn't been losing you points.
Yeah, Dolph.
That's the only reason I haven't dropped him yet.
So after that, we go to commercial. When we come back, we see CM Punk in the back texting. Vicky Guerrero goes to interrupt him, and I believe to tell him that he had a match that evening, but all he cared about was finding where Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar were. And he was quite mean to Vicky here, I think. He was unnecessarily rude to his boss.
He just shouted right in her face.
Stole her line, too.
Quote unquote.
Excuse me.
I like his headphones. That's all I got out of that.
Yeah, he's always got good stuff going on with his music. Probably doesn't listen to anything that great, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you think he was listening to?
Rancid.
His original theme song.
The Wiggles.
The Wiggles? It'd be funny if he was listening to, like, They Might Be Giants or something.
Where's Jeff? Is he sleeping outside?
A whole shit ton of punk music, or he's listening to hardcore, neither of which I'm overly fond of, so...
What if he listened to country music?
That's the weirdest fucking thing ever now, wouldn't it?
If he was listening to, like, Taylor Swift?
I am 99% sure that someone who listens to Rancid also doesn't listen to Taylor Swift. But you never know. Some people have weird, diverse music tastes. So. I'm
pretty sure CM Punk's a fan of We Are Never, Ever, Ever Getting Back Together.
He could be.
It's a song about Paul Heyman. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
All right, well, before we go into the next match, I just want to remind everyone that you can join the conversation we're having here tonight about Monday Night Raw. You can join in by calling area code 760-512-7247. That's area code 760-512-7247. You're listening to the Monday Night Raw post-game show here on Mega Powers Radio. Next match we had, guys, was a Divas match between Kaitlyn and Aksana, which 5-star classic written all over it.
The best 1 minute match you'll ever see in your life. I mean, they did so much at the 60 seconds. It was unbelievable.
It's like Bret Hart, Davey Boy all over again, right?
I didn't get a chance to see this.
Nice name drop, Jester.
I didn't get a chance to see this, so is it actually something I should check out for a potential worst match of the year qualifier?
Well, I mean, you can match it like a minute.
it was so forgettable that you'd mark it down maybe, but something else would top it. It's just one of those matches where it's on TV, but that's it. Like there's nothing noteworthy. It wasn't just so awful you had to keep watching because it was a train wreck awful. It was just there.
The only part you want to see is AJ in the Kaitlyn costume.
Yeah, that's the only part of the segment you might want to watch.
Honestly, the match blew.
I actually like that segment.
Take her out of the water, honestly.
So, yeah, AJ came out. She's wearing a muscle jacket, pretending that she's Kaitlyn with her man-arms, and she just basically mocked her the whole time. Big E came out with flowers and presented them to her, and she was speaking as if she were Kaitlyn. Said, I'm Kaitlyn, and I lost my Divas title, and I forget what else.
Anybody else thought they were going to make out?
No.
I did.
No?
I like Big E's entrance music, though, for some reason. Don't know why. Just gets me pumped.
It's good.
Because he just fits with his powder clap that he does.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's good until he does his actual entrance where he plays patty cake. So after that, we had another Wyatt promo, which they've been playing these more and more often, which is cool, but am I the only one getting kind of tired of them?
I just want them to show up.
No, I want them to be a little different. I think they added a little bit to them. They're really cool. Like, they're really well done, but it's been the same promo.
Exactly. If they had something where maybe he actually talked for more than half of a line, like he hasn't even said one full sentence in any of these promos,
They did do one tonight that was longer than the other ones.
At the end of the show, right before the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it wasn't that different.
He could make, like, small appearances.
Like, I love those vignettes. I think back to, like, the Crime Time vignettes where they were showing all the different types of crimes they were committing. Like, and obviously they're not going to go that direction with Bray Wyatt, but maybe they could show him, like, giving a sermon to one of the groups in the woods. Like, they always show short snippets of it. Maybe actually give one, yeah.
Or if they're supposed to be this threatening group that could, like, kind of, they've got them hanging out in the woods and they're, like, all creepy and all that. And they want to do this kind of idea of kind of what they did with the call promo that we saw. And they had, this long-winded kind of promotional thing that was kind of going a little bit outside the box. They could have some kind of a thing that looks like a movie trailer, and it's somebody in the woods, and then who they run into? The Wyatt family.
You know, every time I see them in the woods, all I can think about is squeal like a piggy.
Yeah, what happens if somebody does end up accidentally going over to their camp or whatever they got set up there? What happens to them? Wouldn't that be something?
Right, like, boy, bend over.
I'm just getting agitated. Like, they're not even showing like a date for the debut or anything like that. So it is what it is. I just want them to debut already.
This could be going for a while at this rate, the way because they're like I said, they're still so vague in these promos that you think they would probably start adding more information to them. And at that rate, we might not see this guy come until the middle of the summer.
Yeah, they've been playing these since the day after Extreme Rules, and it's already like the second Raw after Payback. So I don't know. I would hope that they debut well before August, but it's not seeming likely at this point.
I definitely think when they do debut, I want them to stay away from the Shield at first. Like, I feel like if they wait a little bit, like a month or two, and then have them, like, the Shield just, like, their music hits and they come out, then it would be good. But, like, at first they can't just immediately go to the Shield because, like, it'll actually hurt both of them. But it's like they start off with, like, little other groups, like smaller groups like the Usos, the 3MB, whatever. Like, 3MB would be a good first feud, honestly. Like,
they're basically the same thing as the Shield.
Not really. They have a really eerie,
not the same premise, but I mean, coming into the WWE, they're trying to cause chaos and they're trying to cause disorder. They're basically the same ideals.
The Shield
faction.
Shield was there for justice.
They're a cult.
I don't see Harper and Rowan playing as big of a deal as like all three of the Shield members are. I think this is just going to be something where it's like entirely for Bray Wyatt's push, and they're just kind of the muscle.
Okay.
I don't know if they're going to be booked like a huge dominant three-man group like the Shield. I think it's going to be very different in that aspect. I think it's just a way to push Wyatt into stardom, and they're basically two Luke Gallows for his CM Punk. Probably
it's kind of like the Straight Edge Society.
Yeah, except probably going to be a lot more successful, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah. All right, so after that we had a video recapping the Mark Henry retirement speech that we had last week, and this was, speaking of awesome videos, man, this one pulled at the heartstrings. Whew.
I had goosebumps. That video, like everything, like showing him with the European title and the ECW title too, and like the music they picked for it and everything. It was just like really, really good. Like
WWE's biggest strength.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say, WWE's biggest strength when they get it right and they do it properly in their production values is when they do those awesome promo packages for pay-per-view or even just for television. When they get that right, they can get you hyped for a match just at like the snap of a finger.
The craziest thing is they only have one guy who does all of their video editing. And this guy, as a video editor myself, huge inspiration to me. I'm always
he rocks.
Works. He is amazing.
He's a god.
That's why Shawn Michaels thanked him.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he flat out said in his thing about the people that work on all this other kind of stuff, you know, the video packages and all that. You know, you're the ones that make me awesome, or whatever he had said. Because really, that's how it works. I mean, you look at that. Like, I literally cannot tell you off the top of my head what the lineup of the All Grown Up WrestleMania was without really thinking about it. But I know exactly what the song is, and I know like the whole you have like the little Booker T kid and you have a little John Cena kid and all that, because the promo was more impressive to me than like half the matches on the card.
If you look back at when they kind of switched between the Attitude Era and the PG Era, and they had that promo video for Shawn Michaels where Kid Rock sings "Only God Knows Why." That whole video chronicles everything up until the Attitude Era. I don't know if you guys know what video I'm talking about, but it was one of their big promos that they had. It was a really great video, and I think this guy showing when Mark Henry was in the Attitude Era and he was told to smile every time he went out in the squared circle, and you know it showed his nice years, it showed his Hall of Pain years, it showed everything in between. Really nice job.
I've had so many.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I've had so many like feuds that I've thought higher of because of promotional videos that they've done. Like, I would think the feud was good, but like they would just put everything that happened, all the highlights of the rivalry, together in one of those 3-minute video packages, and that video package I would sometimes remember more than the feud itself. Like the Rock Austin feud in 2003 for Austin's last match at WrestleMania. That like video, like I remember that video, like highlighting the rivalry more than I do the rivalry. Like they just do such a good job.
I'll give you two good examples off of that too. One of them being one of the other Rock Austin wrestling matches at 17, where they had My Way or the Highway.
Yes, I remember that.
That was awesome. Or maybe that was even 15.
No, My Way or the Highway was 17.
That was 17. Okay. Yeah. And even as recently as this year's WrestleMania, the Rock Cena match, I tell you, I had no excitement going into that match for this year's WrestleMania. But there was that one video that they did put together leading right into it that like really recapped how that story lasted years, and when you're watching it in that one chunk, it actually made me a little excited for that match.
Is that the one that they played on Raw a couple times?
Yeah.
Before? Yeah, that one was really good, actually.
There was the John Cena Randy Orton rivalry where I wasn't really into that rivalry until they showed a couple recap videos of that, and they showed the intensity from Randy Orton and they showed the intensity from John Cena, and I hate John Cena like Tony does. But I was actually excited for that.
They had Letters in the Sky for that video, right? I think that.
Yep.
I believe that.
Highlight? Yeah, I remember that.
So good, that fucking song. I love that.
I have it on my computer, like downloaded. It's so good.
One of these days. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not singing an outro.
Outro. Yep.
So we're talking WWE promotional videos, and we're talking Monday Night Raw here in the Monday Night Raw postgame here on Mega Powers Radio. You can join the conversation by calling area code 760-512-7247. That's area code 760-512-7247. Or if you're shy, there's also a chat box here on the blogtalkradio.com/MegaPowersRadio, or go into MegaPowersRadio.com. All right, guys, so digging back into Raw, the next match we had pitted Chris Jericho against the World Heavyweight Champion, Alberto Del Rio. Now, my favorite part of this match was right before the match started when Ricardo Rodriguez came out to do the introduction of Alberto Del Rio. He did a really funny imitation of a Southern yokel going, "What's up, y'all?"
That upsets me. I was going to mention that if no one else did. That was actually my favorite part of the night.
That was great.
It upset you?
No, it upset me that you took it. I was going to say that.
Oh, you want to do your version of it? Maybe you'll do a better version.
I don't even know what he says, but it just made me laugh so hard. Maybe just because it's Southern South Carolina.
And yet the crowd still chanted with him when he announced Del Rio's name, so they must not have hated him that much.
No, they hate Alberto. No one hates Ricardo. Everyone knows that.
These two had a pretty good match, I would say. It ended when Chris Jericho was in the armbar, but he did he propped his legs on the rope to flip himself over, and he got Alberto Del Rio into the walls of Jericho. And
that
then
was the best move of the night. That was the best move of the night.
It was really, really neat. Ricardo Rodriguez then jumped into the ring with the bucket and whacked Chris Jericho over the head with the bucket.
Fuck the bucket.
Now, Brendan Ligon always claimed that the bucket was one of the sources of Alberto Del Rio becoming a babyface. Now, how is he going to continue to keep using it as a heel?
Hit people in the head with it, apparently. That's how you do it.
Keep getting disqualified on purpose.
Exactly.
So, while Del Rio continues to try to take advantage of the knocked out Jericho, Dolph Ziggler reaches out to save him. And then this leaves Chris Jericho and Dolph Ziggler looking into each other's eyes until Jericho goes to leave. He bumps into Ziggler, causing Ziggler to hit the zigzag on Jericho himself.
A little bit of payback, well, oddly enough, from SmackDown. So
payback.
Did you guys notice how they kept Michael Cole kept putting influence on the word payback? It's like payback was a few weeks ago, guys.
Please buy the replay.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to start doing that with other pay-per-views.
Only if the theme fits the name.
Remember, you can spend money from your fans on SummerSlam.
Ryback is going to change his catchphrase to payback rules.
Oh,
boy.
So we come back from the next commercial break. We have Jerry the King Lawler in the ring with Team Bricky with him as well. Jerry announces that the fans are going to have the opportunity to design the flip side of the cover for the next video game, WWE 14, being released by 2K Sports. Excuse me, it's WWE 2K14 now. Vicky and Brad Maddox both show off their own custom covers, which Vicky, I believe, had all three of the McMahons on it, sucking up to them. And then Brad Maddox said he had the future, which pictured John Cena, CM Punk, and Brad Maddox on it.
I would just like to recuse myself from this conversation because I know all y'all are Rock haters, and I am the biggest Rock lover of you all, and I'm just going to take myself out of this conversation.
All right, go ahead.
Probably for the better.
Okay.
Is that your Brad Maddox impersonation?
Then Jerry Lawler.
I'm just saying. I'm a diehard Rock fan.
I haven't even made the announcement yet.
And you ruined it for me. What are you doing?
And then Jerry Lawler unveils the official cover for WWE 2K14, and it is
drum roll, please.
The Rock.
The great one!
And now they're using me to promote video games. Raise his eyebrow.
Waste.
He really is promoting video games. He's on the cover of the console game, and he's also got a WWE app video game as well.
Rock Apocalypse or whatever. Rock Apocalypse.
Best game ever. Best game ever. That's all I got to say about that.
No doubt. I'm sure.
Now, what exactly is Rock Apocalypse? Has anyone played it? I mean, is this a game where you play yourself as The Rock on a movie set? And you have to fight off, the actual rogue, extras that have actually decided to start fighting against you?
It looks like to me. So that's awesome.
You know what? It sounds like something I'm not fucking downloading.
Even if it's for free, like the WWE app, which
I have the WWE app.
So
everyone has the WWE app.
When they first said that they were going to be letting the fans design the flip side, I was like, oh, that's a freaking terrible idea. Why would anybody want to use a fan-made side? Because generally the things fans make are terrible. Then they unveiled The Rock, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll use the fan-made side.
I'm guessing you are not in favor of The Rock being the cover wrestler for 2K14, are you, Paden?
The guy's wrestled 5 matches in the last 8 years. What do I...
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
who
trying
else are they
to
going to
feel
put
like
on
there's
it?
actually 5. Is there actually 5? I feel like there's only 3.
Yeah.
2 with Cena, 2 with Punk, and the Survivor Series tag match.
Yeah.
Fair.
You're right, it is 5.
No, the question is, who else would they put on there besides?
There's plenty of people
John
they can push. Just take a look at the people that they're pushing right now.
Well, yeah, except they're trying to sell the game. Except there's only a few people you could put on the cover of the game and expect them. Hey, this guy's on the cover of a game. Maybe sell a few more copies. That's not an excuse for The Rock to be on there. I'm just saying.
Their logo is also on the game and taking up a quarter of the cover. So. Yeah. If anybody didn't think it was a WWE game, I mean, they have the big-ass W right in front of the ear.
Why not just do multiple?
They could do multiple, or just Cena. I don't think Cena has ever been a solo person on a video game cover. It would have been perfect.
Well, then they should do what they used to do, where they have, the one big guy in the middle, and then, have a few people branch off on each side, which is what they did with the SmackDown versus Raw games for, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did it for everyone until it ended.
Have CM Punk, have John Cena, Brock Lesnar, The Rock.
Randy Orton and
how about we just have wrestlers on the games and not the actors? How about that?
I didn't mind the McMahon promo. I thought that was pretty cool.
Honestly, would have been better than The Rock.
So,
Dwayne off the cover. Keep Dwayne off the cover.
To break up the conversation here for a second, we got a call on the line from the 412 area code. Caller from the 412 area code. I think I know who this is, but who are you?
It's JD in Pittsburgh. How's it going, guys?
Oh, JD in Pittsburgh. What's shaking, dude? You're not who I thought you were, but welcome to the show. How's it going? What'd you think of Raw tonight?
Not a bad show. I mean, unlike last week, they did a little bit better this week. I mean, I did like the whole Punk Heyman banter in the ring. The Orton Daniel Bryan main event was terrific. The Jericho match was good too. But there were some things they kind of did well tonight. And there's some things that just didn't do well tonight. You know, I mean, I don't know.
Elaborate?
Well, let's see. Let's talk about this whole Wyatt family thing. I mean, we keep seeing the same vignettes almost every week or close to every week. So, I think it's time to address that, and I think they got to bring these guys up pretty soon, if you ask me. So we'll have to wait and see how it happens. You know. Well, actually, I'll talk more about that next week. So you guys have a good week now.
Oh, all right, man.
Goodbye, JD.
Bye.
Well, thanks
love
for
you.
That was a quick call, but thanks for joining us.
Call with you.
Thanks, JD. Thanks for calling, man. Anyone else wishes to call in, you can join the conversation by dialing 760-512-7247. That's area code 760-512-7247. Guys, any other things you want to talk about The Rock?
He should not be a sole cover person.
Stay away.
That's for sure.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Is The Rock coming back?
I don't think he is.
No, not anytime. He's put out too many movies right now.
Nah, dude,
he's
got to get his title shot. He's got to get his title shot.
He's got Pain and Gain. I mean,
you can forget about that rematch clause.
Nah.
He can stay in Hollywood and make movies and do what he's supposed to be doing, and then they can build new stars and not have to rely on people like him to come back. I think that's best business.
What you guys don't realize is that wrestling was not the first option for The Rock. He wanted to do football. He wanted to be a football player. And then he went into wrestling and then realized that, it was kind of in his blood. And now he's in movies, and you got to respect what he's doing. You have to respect what he's doing. And if he's not doing it for money, he's doing it because it's what he wants to do.
That's debatable.
No, it's not debatable.
Kind of.
It's not debatable because that's what. Oh, sorry.
Do you like Brock Lesnar, Paul?
I'm done.
Paul, do you like Brock Lesnar?
I love Brock Lesnar.
He left the WWE to go play in the NFL.
And that's
I know he did. I don't blame him for doing any of that. I don't blame him for doing any of that. I don't blame him for following what he wants to follow. If he wants to do the NFL, he can do the NFL. If The Rock wants to do movies, he can do movies. But don't question his love for what his family did. Rocky Maivia, Rocky Johnson, Tai Chi Peter Maivia.
Now, on another note, I think it's fair to say that Brock Lesnar is only here for the money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right now.
He clearly has a passion for the business. I mean,
he's here to bring the pain.
Well, no, I'll tell you this much. Since Brock Lesnar has returned, he has gotten himself in phenomenal shape.
Yeah, true. He was pretty fat when he first showed up.
He was. I don't know if I would call him fat, but he had a lot of flab.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
He was country boy mostly.
Dying.
Yeah, honestly.
So, to be fair, of course he got out of shape a little bit when he lost 30 pounds in the hospital because he had that
Oh yeah.
I mean, to be fair.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, but
Yep.
he still could have just kept himself, lofty and just lost that shape. You CM Punk lost that shape in a month. Brock Lesnar, we're lucky we see him, in
but
a 3-month
I'm saying
span.
there are worse superstars like John Laurinaitis, who went to the Japan League and tried to be this great tag team and ended up being just a suit. This guy made something of himself with a lot of help and with a lot of respect for a lot of the other guys in the back. Rocky is a staple now in the Attitude Era, in the WWE, permanently, and I just don't see how you can disrespect him.
We're not really disrespecting him at all.
Were we talking about The Rock being flabby, or were we talking about Brock?
No, I was talking about Brock being flabby, but now I guess now we're back to the Rock.
Sorry.
No one's hating on the Rock's
past accomplishments.
No one's hating on the Rock's past accomplishments.
Well,
it's just that there's no reason for him to be getting this kind of shine now. The Rock doesn't need to be made a bigger star. The Rock is as big a star from the WWE as he needs to be. If he wants to continue to make a bigger star in Hollywood, that's fine. But there's no reason for him to get that shine of being on a WWE video game.
I honestly respect The Rock for coming back. He beat John Cena the first time, but he put him over. He left. He's probably not coming back. But he did put John Cena over. He does care about the WWE, but he cares more about his Hollywood career, and that's perfectly fine. You do not have to put him on the video game cover when he's never going to wrestle again. The Undertaker is more likely to wrestle multiple more matches than The Rock is to ever wrestle
maybe
again.
one.
they could have put the Undertaker on the cover.
That's where I kind of disagree with you a little bit.
The Rock is
I don't think Undertaker has 5 more matches than The Rock does.
Oh, I didn't say he had 5.
Well, no, there's rumors he may be coming back for SummerSlam still. I believe it was still around.
WrestleMania 30, there you go.
There's at least 2.
This show is getting us to talk about a game cover the most out of anything else so far. That's funny.
Well, to be fair, we did just talk about whether or not Brock Lesnar smelled what The Rock was cooking and ate it all.
What?
You're going to have another Brock versus The Rock?
Wasn't that their plan for WrestleMania before Rock said, no, I'm not going to come back?
Well,
yes, it was.
I mean, he left his ball at home. He had to go back and get it.
Where did
we
leave off? Yeah, I think we can move on to the next segment, which was Ryback versus the Great Khali.
In an instant classic.
That was a classic match.
Ryback gets Great Khali up for the shell shock for the victory. The only really significant thing I have to say about this match is Natalya looked like Marilyn Monroe, and she looked beautiful.
Nobody complimented Ryback. Actually, was able to march around for a significant portion of time.
Oh, you know what? I liked it so much, especially because it reminds me of my favorite part in Jurassic Park when Jeff Goldblum lifts T-Rex on his shoulder and marches around.
Yeah, he pins him. That's all good.
I'd rather sit in the cage with Chris Benoit than watch the Great Khali versus Ryback.
No, if he would have took a chop and got pinned by Khali, I would have laughed hysterically. Just saying.
Happy anniversary to Bino It.
Yeah, even Heath Slater beat Great Khali though.
Right.
He did.
Because he's the future.
Heath Slater is the future.
I met him at a gas station once. He was really cool.
Sure, was the Wendy's guy.
He was working. He was working.
Oh boy.
How is
he going to pay for his 1-man, 3-man band expenses? I mean, come on, he's got to work somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the price of being on a rock band.
What are you talking about? He's doing tons of jobs on Raw and SmackDown.
Oh.
Yes.
Those arrogant.
He's doing a lot of jobs in the back alley.
Too soon.
Oh.
So next we have Tons of Funk coming out with some guy who's dancing with him like crazy.
That's all I refer to him as.
His name was Scott.
Tons of Funk. Let's refer to them as a real tag team name. The Dancing Bears, as Matt Striker. The recently released Matt Striker once dubbed them before they got their name Tons of Funk.
Is that guy the Eliminator's father or something?
What did they say he was? He was the highest donating person to the Make-A-Wish Foundation or something?
It was the Hurricane Sandy relief thing, actually.
Yeah, that was it.
And that's what he gets out of it?
I mean, like, the segment was lame, but think about how cool it would be to come out on Raw during a segment like for that. Like,
hey, he paid for it. He paid for it.
Dance in a Brodus Clay Drax.
Well, I mean, he was dancing with Cameron and Naomi, so I'll give him.
That's honestly worse than dancing with Brodus and Tensai. I don't know what you're talking about. Brodus and Tensai have bigger tits than they do.
All right, so that led
the Usos won.
Yeah, this led to a triple threat tag team match, which involved the Usos and what was it, Jinder Mahal and was it Drew or Heath Slater? Who was his teammate?
Drew went out.
Drew went out. Okay, well, it was the Usos who won. And at the end of the match, the Shield came down for their whole 15 seconds. They got to be on Raw tonight and held up their tag titles.
That's it.
Shield's really dropped down a notch, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So if 3MB had won, would Jinder and McIntyre be the number one contenders, or would 3MB be the number one contenders, and just whichever two they wanted?
I think it would be more interesting to see a 3-on-3 tag team. Like, I know they have different titles, but I think...
then maybe 3MB and not the Usos.
3MB is like, but I still think it would be more interesting than the Usos.
Well,
they could be awesome.
They could do a 3-on-3 match for both titles. They've done stuff like that before. Heath Slater gets the U.S. title.
I'm still waiting for that 3MB face turn.
But it was. I'm just saying it was tag team titles #1 contender match. That's all I was saying.
The next segment we had, which I'm sure was a lot of people's favorites, though I can't guarantee, CM Punk and Paul Heyman.
Woo!
Who wants
Good promo.
I don't have much to say.
It was all right.
That's the spirit.
From what I saw, I don't want to be too negative about this, but let me try to put it in kind of more of a positive perspective. It wasn't bad, but goddamn, did that ever really serve much of a purpose? I think that it went on way too long.
Yep.
It did.
And the whole thing was just to eat up time. I know that they're supposed to be throwing in a little bit of a reference here and there that he can't trust him and all that, but did they need to do it for what felt like 20 minutes or so just to accomplish?
It would have been more interesting if Brock Lesnar came out.
Well, just to accomplish the same thing that happened from last week, where it was like, oh, did he do it? They didn't really add anything to this.
I think what it is that we're looking for an instant gratification type thing. And they are trying to drag the match out between Punk and Lesnar until SummerSlam. What they did with this was, I'm pretty sure after Raw, everybody immediately assumed Heyman was upset that Punk ditched him, so he sicked Brock Lesnar on him. And what this segment was to do was to try to convince CM Punk and to try to make us think that Heyman successfully convinced CM Punk that he did not sick Brock Lesnar on him. He is lying. We all know Heyman's a sleazeball. Punk trusts him because if it weren't for Paul Heyman, honestly, Punk wouldn't have a job.
Paul Heyman is probably the most trustworthy guy in the WWE. If I had to put all my faith in one person to ever tell me a lie, it would either be Paul Heyman.
If you want quality writing, sure.
Why not? Drinking the Kool-Aid, all right?
You have to be you have to be an idiot to think that CM Punk doesn't see this coming from a mile away. Okay, CM Punk is not a dumb guy. And if they're going to play him like a dumb guy, that's just not, it's not going to play.
Are you saying wrestling's not real?
Why does Heyman have to be the one behind it, though?
I am going to be the one with the Mr. Anderson shirt.
Why does Heyman have to be the main? Everybody's seen that coming. Why can't he legitimately be neutral?
That would be a good
to both parties.
He legitimately did not sick Brock Lesnar on him.
Why does he need to be the one behind it?
He had a good reason, honestly.
I'm not saying he has to be the one behind it. I'm just saying the way that they have developed his character over the years, that it's highly, highly unlikely that this isn't so predictable. Wrestling nowadays has been very predictable. You can't deny that.
No, but I can at least think that maybe this is too predictable. Like, having him play gray area and kind of be conflicted would be the far better storyline to go than just Big Show and Brock turn 2.0 with Punk.
But we just saw Mark Henry fake retire and then slam John Cena down on the mat.
You just said wrestling is really predictable, and I was totally about to say, I know, I totally saw Mark Henry slamming John Cena to the mat coming after he retired. Yeah, definitely.
I didn't.
Wrestling's super predictable.
I think he's being facetious.
That's sarcasm there.
I'm actually glad they didn't go with the whole, Punk just picks him up, draws him with the GTS thing, does the full-on. I'm glad that he's keeping Heyman around. I
don't think he's keeping Heyman around. I think he just accepted Heyman's, what he said, he accepted it as the truth. He does not want a team with Chris Axel because he is not associated with Paul Heyman. He wants to go on his own, and Paul's just trying to stay close to CM Punk. They're doing this because eventually Paul is going to throw in Punk's face that he did stick Brock Lesnar on him, and that's going to be after Money in the Bank and closer to SummerSlam. Because then,
how long was Punk on his own when he won those 3-4 World Heavyweight Championships?
Pretty much, he won every single one of them without Heyman. Heyman came and
exactly.
Okay, what's your point?
I'm gonna throw something out here, and I'm really hoping that I'm wrong. RVD wins Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
No. Paul Heyman.
With the help of Heyman, that would be interesting.
Yeah, Paul Heyman helps him do it. He celebrates with him. CM Punk goes, "Hey, what the fuck? You were like, you're my friend. Why aren't you kind of pissed that I didn't win?" He goes, I don't care. Brock, come out here. Go kick his ass.
Do you think Heyman legitimately helps RVD to win, or do you think he's just happy RVD won?
Either he helps RVD to win. It's one of three things. He either personally helps RVD win, like he distracts CM Punk, who is like another one going for it, and that gives RVD the advantage, or he, pushes CM Punk off the ladder and helps RVD get it, something like that, or he has Brock Lesnar do it, which I doubt it, because then that would be another appearance for Brock Lesnar.
Right.
Or obviously Curtis Axel. Or the third thing is he just flat out bypasses CM Punk, kind of just like Punk's looking there upset, and he just kind of like walks right by him and starts celebrating and all that other kind of stuff like that.
If Curtis Axel is IC champ, then wouldn't he be more suited for the SmackDown Money in the Bank match?
He doesn't have to be in the Raw Money in the Bank match to come out.
We're not going to get a SmackDown.
Well, yes. Okay.
I honestly think that you can see a scenario where Punk and RVD are both going for the briefcase. Heyman comes out, gets up on the apron. Punk's looking at him like, "What are you doing?" And then RVD knocks Punk off the ladder and pulls down the briefcase. And Heyman gets in the ring trying to apologize to Punk, and RVD's like raising his arm, celebrating with him. And it kind of creates more controversy. I can see that. Definitely. I don't know if that's the... I mean, I still think Bryan is going to win the Raw Money in the Bank.
I still think Bryan has the best shot.
When he and Randy Orton both said, when he and Kane both said, I'm going for the WWE Championship, I have to become the WWE Champion, that told me that they're going to give that big Money in the Bank moment to Daniel Bryan.
And on top of that, if this was just one Money in the Bank match, why is it just for the WWE Championship? Why isn't it for...
There's definitely two.
Well, it makes more sense for Mark Henry to win the WWE Championship, get incapacitated at the next pay-per-view or next whatever event, and then Daniel Bryan come in and cash in on Mark Henry.
He's done it
before to the big show.
So why does that mean you have to cash on Henry?
You have to do it differently.
I'm just saying it's the underdog. He thinks he's the weak link.
But that's just proving he is. If he has to sneak and cash in on somebody who's down, have him legitimately be Cena for the title. That would do a whole lot more for him.
He's legitimately more likely to challenge John Cena to an actual match.
He's probably going to be seen as a SummerSlam opponent if he wins, which is very likely. That's probably going to be the WWE title program for the end of the summer going into the fall.
You know what that match is going to be? That match is going to be all Daniel Bryan, and John Cena is going to do his 4 moves of doom the entire time.
Well, when Cena has a good match with somebody, it's usually really good. He does his fair share. I know he's not really the best, but when he has the right opponent, he can go really good.
He's had the same moves since he came in 2002.
What do you mean? He's got the Hurricanrana now.
All right, we're not going to go into this John Cena debate here. I'm going to pull it back to the Punk and Paul Heyman. For me, this segment didn't really accomplish anything. They talked in circles for a long time. Did not get me excited about anything. So for me, this segment was a waste.
Well, it was just a waste of time.
It feels like
it was to fill time, but kind of continue the storyline, but not really do anything. It was just a bite a week.
They honestly, they put out Brock Lesnar too quick. They were trying to be hot. They were trying to strike the iron while it was hot with Punk coming back from his return, facing Jericho. So they had Brock come out and F5 Punk. The F5 isn't like something that should keep Punk out for any amount of time at all. So Brock didn't do enough to like make Punk miss time to prolong their program. And since Brock Lesnar wasn't there tonight because he has that limited contract thing, they have to carry the program somehow. They're just like limited to what they can do, and they have to extend this thing all the way to SummerSlam. So it's going to be a slow build, at least until after Money in the Bank. And after Money in the Bank, we're going to see Punk and Lesnar have more interaction, and the feud will be able to heat up again. But for now, it's going to be slow because Brock is not there.
At least they're starting this thing in June and not in April like they did for Triple H and Lesnar. Like that took forever to build up, now didn't it?
That's true.
Yep.
All right, so after they had their little bit of a chat, CM Punk was actually involved in a match against Darren Young.
Mr. Some Days on Raw.
That was a very surprising match because Darren Young took it to him.
Yeah, there was a point where Darren Young almost looked like he was going to get the upset. It was Punk was going for the GTS, and Darren Young reversed it into his sort of like a GTS where he rams the knees into a person's stomach.
It's like a gut buster.
Yep. That was a good match. It was actually a good match.
Yeah.
The story that ended up getting told is Punk had hurt his knee, and he wasn't able to get Darren Young secured into going into a go-to-sleep, so he ends up getting him into the Anaconda Vice, to which Darren Young quickly tapped out to.
Like immediately.
Yeah, like before he even like lifted him up, and he was tapping on his shoulder already. The primetime players. Oh, go ahead, man.
I don't think he got the Vice fully applied by the time Darren tapped out. It's like he just got his head down. He's already.
He tried to get him into the Vice, and he was already of the mindset, I'm tapping out.
I'm tapping out as soon as he touches me. Okay.
Is it time for me to lose that? Is it time for me to lose that? Oh my God! Okay, yes. All right, I did my job. Woo! Yeah. Oh no. Stranger danger! Stranger danger!
So the primetime players start attacking CM Punk, a 2-on-1 attack, and then Curtis Axel comes out to save the day with CM Punk, to which CM Punk is not too happy about. But Paul Heyman exclaims to him this was the only way. He did the right thing.
It was an interesting move, and I liked how Paul Heyman played it. Tried to keep them apart, even after, the whole thing.
And, that's going to be interesting. We're talking about seeing this whole story between Heyman, Lesnar, and Punk playing out. What's Curtis Axel's role going to be in all this?
Sideliner.
He's just going to be there.
Well, it might go as deep as all Heyman clients.
I mean, he's Heyman's only guy that can show up on Raw without them having to lose dates.
So. Until RVD comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's that then. Next, we have Stephanie McMahon coming out. We already talked a little bit about this, but she announced the Raw Money in the Bank participants, and those were Kane, Randy Orton,
Boo.
Rob Van Dam,
Boo.
CM Punk,
Boo.
Daniel Bryan,
Boo.
Christian, and Sheamus.
I'm sorry. Besides Sheamus, that is a star-studded lineup. You're going to see a good Money in the Bank match from those guys.
I don't understand how there's only 7 of them and why not there's 8 or 6.
It's usually 6 or 8. 7's just a weird number. It's funny.
I feel like, and the weird thing is,
it felt like being artsy with the number selection.
Well, no, the weird thing is they're all faces and kind of tweeners for the most part. There's not a single heel really in that lineup, so I don't know. I feel like someone's gonna get taken out and be replaced with Ryback or someone.
Well, it's like the thing they had last year where every world champ was in the Money in the Bank match.
And at this point, Ryback is scheduled for a match at Money in the Bank with Chris Jericho.
Oh, thank goodness. Very good. I didn't want his mug in Money in the Bank, so a match with Jericho, that's fine by me with him to do at the pay-per-view.
I don't think anybody is being taken out. If anybody is being taken out and being replaced, Big Show will replace him, I think, because he's the only one that is like a heel to go into it and all that, but he's not going to win it, obviously.
He can even come out and be the 8th, and then we can see the return of that Big Show ladder, the double reinforced Big Show ladder.
The world's largest ladder.
But no, I think what we're getting here is, and I mentioned this when we were doing the chat before, I don't think we're getting a World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank match. I think that they're throwing all of the main event people that they need to get on the card with this, because if you look at all the people that aren't on the card right now, how many of them have been really a priority? Cody Rhodes? No.
To be fair, has the World Heavyweight title been a priority?
No, not really, but that's why the whole focal point of the World Heavyweight title right now is just Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler.
And on top of that, why is this Money in the Bank, the briefcase itself, only for the WWE Championship? If it was for these 7 guys, don't you think they'd at least be given a choice between which title they'd want to challenge for, rather than just be strict to one contract for one championship?
That could have just been a slip-up by Stephanie.
No, it's being advertised as such on the website.
Yeah, I'm looking at the match preview. It says WWE Championship over and over.
But you know what?
Title match contract.
You know what, though? How many times have they referred to both championships as the World WWE Championship? They talk about John Cena as like...
They can always backtrack on it, too.
Yeah, but they refer to people, they've said before, Daniel Bryan is a former WWE champion. He isn't.
Well, they say former world champion.
They do.
What they do to refer
I'm leaning more towards there is going to be a second one, but I guess I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't.
I mean, as much as they've promoted the brand of WWE Championship, you kind of have to expect that there's going to be a World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank match.
I hope so, because that needs to go to Wade Barrett.
I think it's a surprise buy.
We're all still thinking Wade Barrett might have a chance at winning a World Heavyweight Championship match contract.
They put him in a slump for so long.
I'll tell you why. The only reason I could see him winning is if they wanted to have somebody lose. And I know John Cena won, but I mean, like, John Cena was a guy who can go out there and lose, and it doesn't matter. Like, everyone else who has gotten that briefcase and it was something that was going to launch him into that next level has won. Wade Barrett could be that guy that you think is about to get launched, and then all of a sudden isn't.
That'd be awful.
Oh, right.
Who else
Can
would win?
I just say I'm so happy
that's because it's English.
Is the only man who's lost the Money in the Bank contract opportunity.
Just like Regal and Bulldog before him. A regular British talent in a modern-day WWE.
Thank God Burhan isn't here. We'd have to listen to this argument about him and Vince McMahon and the Irish people and how he loves Sheamus.
Well, let me ask you guys this question. If they do have another Money in the Bank, and I'm going on the record as saying I don't think that they will, because I don't think they have anybody out there, who else would win other than him?
A heel is going to win. A babyface is clearly going to win the WWE title contract. So you have some upper mid-card heels that could win, and I would say favorites at this point have to be, at least with Sandow, since he's feuding with Sheamus, I'd say he's a favorite, and I guess if you want to say Barrett. But
wait.
Maybe
Would Sheamus in the WWE Money in the Bank match?
Yes.
You think Fawn Don go has a shot at winning the briefcase despite not winning a championship prior?
Absolutely.
I think his
for the World
whole
Heavyweight
thing's fallen.
Jack Swagger throwing it out there.
Oh, hell no.
Hell
no. Not again.
Step 1, 2.
What
going
about
with
Cesaro?
the swag.
No, Cesaro, Poop Walker's dead. He's dead in the water.
Well, he was even on Raw tonight.
Yeah.
What do you mean? He's got that culture now. He's got a...
A lot of good guys did him.
Yeah. I don't know what it's like, but yeah. So we all agree Sin Cara is going to be
what is
the
he, the
next
German, Swiss, American superstar now?
So he can speak 5 languages. So you have to count the other 2.
They're going to use the World Championship Money in the Bank match for the surprise win. Because, like, it wouldn't be surprising if anyone in the Raw one, aside from, I guess, Pain, won. But the SmackDown one, they can legitimately have anyone win, and you can get that pop.
Yeah, but it's definitely going to be a heel, though. That's the thing, because they always, if they have 2, it's always one face, one heel that wins.
Yeah, it'll be a
So
heel.
you got to look at the heels that, if they have 2, that they put in that match and basically just pick and choose from there.
And they don't have any heels in the WWE Championship Money in the Bank match.
Nope.
They really don't.
So.
I'll put it this way. When we sit here and say there's no way Wade Barrett's going to win, let's remember a few other people. Jack Swagger won the Money in the Bank, and he was a nobody when he won.
And he's not British, though. That's the thing.
Oh, my God.
When Barrett comes into the ring, he comes in on a Barrett carriage.
which he stores at home in his Barrett garage.
He ain't no Wade Barrett, that's for sure.
All right, guys, we got one last segment from Monday Night Raw tonight to talk about, and that was the main event, which was actually a match. It was Daniel Bryan against Randy Orton in a match that was to be determined by the WWE Universe via the WWE app, available now on your local mobile device's app store.
Shameless plug, shameless
for
plug.
For smartphones and iOS and Android provided services.
And now on your Kindle.
Ooh, I'm going to download it on my Kindle.
I'll talk about a kendo. That kendo that Daniel Bryan used against Randy Orton was awesome.
Mhm. Yeah, this match ended up being a street fight where we saw broken tables, and eventually it ended up with Daniel Bryan winning via a no-lock on Randy Orton, which he was using a kendo stick to pull back on the neck of Randy Orton, which caused him to tap out and give Daniel Bryan the win.
Quite a nice little hard-hitting main event, too, for just like a little put-together TV match. I thought these two worked very well together. It was a great way to end the show. My God, Bryan's got a whole shit ton of momentum, doesn't he?
Oh, yes.
Yes, he does.
I don't see how he couldn't be the favorite going into the WWE title Money in the Bank ladder match. At this point in time, he's my favorite to win the thing and go on challenge Cena for sure.
Only reason I would see him not winning it is just because it seems so obvious for him to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but doesn't mean he's going to win the title exactly, though. So.
No, it doesn't. But I feel like they're going to swerve it at Money in the Bank, give that briefcase to someone else, and then still have Daniel Bryan be the guy go into an actual program with Cena.
Either way, I'd be fine with that. But I still think at this point he's a favorite.
Sorry. If you look at the titles he's gotten the U.S. title, the tag team titles, the world title. All he needs is the the IC title and the WWE title. He's already accomplished a lot. I don't know why they wouldn't at least let him have a chance at the WWE title.
Well, he's definitely going to get it sooner rather than later. I mean, this is just kind of like a buffer pay-per-view before the bigger one.
If they do swerve us with the Daniel Bryan thing, I think, like Tony said earlier, RVD's probably the most likely to win after Bryan.
Yeah, but he's kind of like on a Jericho contract, though. I think they would put it on somebody like him. I think he's just there for spots like Christian.
Why would Randy Orton and Sheamus and everybody else win? Christian. If Christian or Orton are going to turn heel, I could see one of them winning and feuding with Ziggler.
Well, no, I can see
otherwise, no.
No, I can see one of them winning just because they haven't won one before.
That's fair.
I don't think WWE really cares too much about it. If anybody won it before, I think they only care about their storyline and then they build around that.
Oh God, I think it involves Sheamus. Jesus Christ.
That's why I think that it's only Daniel Bryan or RVD.
Or Sheamus.
I don't think Sheamus has a shot. I actually think that Sheamus has just as much of a shot as.
He's already won it twice.
Yeah, I think he's got the same amount of a shot as the Usos has at winning the tag team title.
So how does RVD have a shot? I'm just really confused about that. How does RVD have a shot?
Because he's overrated.
Because he's with Paul Heyman and he's new, and it'll get a huge pop in Philly.
Yeah, well, he came back for the Royal Rumble.
And I'm pretty sure they just re-signed him to a huge
he never
contract.
Won. So I don't know. I don't see Van Dam returning and winning.
Wait, guys, I got it. Rob Van Dam wins Money in the Bank, and he cashes it in against present WWE Champion John Cena at ECW One Night Stand 2013.
Again.
You know what I could see happening now? This is actually going to be what I'm going to predict going forward until they convince me otherwise. RVD wins Money in the Bank, cashes in against John Cena at SummerSlam, beats John Cena at SummerSlam, and the reason that they don't go right into the Daniel Bryan thing is because they want Daniel Bryan to be the one who beats RVD later on.
I'll do you one better. RVD cashes in the Money in the Bank briefcase at Money in the Bank in Philly and beats John Cena for the WWE Championship and faces Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam.
You, in fact, did me one better, because who better to have...
Keeps his ass,
exactly.
And RVD capitalizes.
Exactly.
Ooh, either way, no matter who wins between the two favorites, you're going to get a two-time Money in the Bank winner, whether Van Dam or Bryan wins. That's something interesting.
Yes.
So
isn't CM Punk in the Money in the Bank match too?
Yeah, but he's definitely not winning it.
He's going to get screwed by Paul Heyman or Curtis Axel or Brock Lesnar. One of the three is going to keep... CM Punk will look like he's going to win.
Or at least Brock's music will hit and distract him on the ladder.
My thoughts immediately went to CM Punk.
Yep, they should. He's the only one to do it.
Yep.
All right, I think we posed some interesting ideas here, and we'll see how things shape up as we lead into Money in the Bank. Any other general thoughts about Monday Night Raw tonight before we start wrapping things up, guys?
I just hope that they kind of step it up to maybe not as good as the post-payback show it was an after pay-per-view show, but just a top step up from this week. I want to be left at least something like the Bryan win is something kind of excited going forward, but I'd like to have a free-flowing show that just kind of gives you little bits of excitement every now and then. You feel more pumped once it's over. So if they bump it up as we get closer to Money in the Bank, that's all I can really ask for as a fan.
I don't expect every Raw to be great.
No, neither do I.
No, but I do think that it's nicer when everybody's talking about Raw. I think that's the most fun time is when you get really this week. I used to forget Raw started at 8, and after last week, I ran up here to watch Raw at 8 o'clock. I was legitimately excited. It is fun to watch Raw when it's really good. It's really good. And I'd heard a rumor that Heyman and Zeb Coulter wrote the show last week, and if they did, let them keep doing it.
Keep them as the co-head writers. Fuck whoever took over. If they wrote the majority last week, fuck the person whoever wrote the majority of this week. Put them back in charge. That's what I say.
I heard the reason is because they keep firing creative team members and they hadn't hired anyone new yet, and they just let them write it and had Triple H.
That's their whole problem though. They have these Hollywood writers that think they know wrestling, maybe because they caught an episode or two in the Attitude Era, and then they don't understand the actual foundation of what makes wrestling angles work. So when you got people who know the business, like, a Heyman or, Zeb Coulter, Dutch Mantel, whatever you want to call him, you get a better written show that appeals to the fans.
Yep.
Because it's written to, further the angles properly.
I've always said that the casual fans will watch WWE regardless as long as Vince McMahon puts out a wrestling show that they like. The machine will work for the casuals. It's the real wrestling fans. It's the real wrestling fans you have to win over.
You're talking about the little kids.
The little kids will watch anyway. As long as John Cena's on the show, they don't care about the rest. We care about the rest.
Yeah, but at the same time, we watch regardless. Even if it's shitty, we watch just to complain about it.
Sometimes.
To be fair, I've missed more Raw than I have in the last few years in this whole last 6 months, so that's something.
Mike, you took a break, right? I took a break in 2007. People take a break from this. If they you can only do the whole "I love this so much" for so long because eventually they alienate you so bad that you don't care anymore. So it's the little moments that happen that hook us, but they've got to at least consistently throw us a bone every now and then, and they've done that more the last few years. But there was a time where people legitimately felt like he didn't care about the diehard wrestling fans that helped make the WWE the machine it is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. I just want to say something before we end this. I do like how I feel like Raw is getting better than it was last year. I like the product this year better than last year. That's for damn sure.
It's a lot of talented guys. They have all the talent in the world to work with. It's just
I agree.
Putting
100%.
the booking and the show around it. Because there's tons of guys that I enjoy watching.
I would say
let him finish. Let him finish.
Yeah, there was a time period where I didn't enjoy the roster, but they have a very deep, talented roster right now, and I honestly think that if the writing was good, the show would be as good as it's ever been. There's no negatives in the roster. The roster's fine. Even John Cena, when you put him out there and let him be interesting, he can be interesting.
The roster, in terms of future prospects this year, has me looking quite forward to the WWE's future in terms of talent goes. I think if they push everybody properly and give everybody their proper spots, they got a good line of talent that could become stars within the next few years if they play their cards properly. Mm-hmm. I've been this optimistic about the roster in a long time.
The only part I'm not optimistic about is John Cena's about as interesting as a block of cheese.
He won't be around for
This is it. This is it. This is the title. This is it, Mark. Let me say this is it for 30 minutes.
The trip is here.
Honestly, that doesn't make John Cena not a talented guy. It's just every babyface that's the center of the attention gets watered down to high hell.
Oh.
Like, I may sound like the biggest CM Punk fanboy in the world sometimes. There was a time where I didn't enjoy CM Punk because he was too boring, because they make all the babyfaces boring. And while he was a slight exception to the rule on that, he was still way more watered down when he was the beginning of his WWE title reign, where he was just the babyface WWE champion. Mm-hmm. He was watered down to high hell. They don't let the babyfaces be interesting. When they do, when they give you free reign, it's awesome. But otherwise, the babyfaces never get a fair shake. I think that's why.
But he was more interesting. He was more interesting.
I think the reason the IWC turns to heels so much is because they have more freedom to kind of be interesting, I guess. When you're a face, it's not hard to get people to cheer you.
That's in anything, though. That's not just in wrestling. That's in like movies or any type of entertainment. The villain is always more interesting. There's always a lot more range you have playing the part of a villain as opposed to a hero, where you have to always have those traits of what the hero is.
There's less dimensions when you're playing a good guy. You know, you're a lot more creative and you have more
I don't think you have to be a
dimensions
hero. I remember when Austin and The Rock were good guys, they were still really entertaining.
But I'm saying Cena's not even creative. He's not creative about what he does. He's a Fruity Pebble Wonder Woman with wristbands who just does the same thing all the time. But
that's not his decision.
I don't care if it's not his decision.
Well, it's not fair to place the blame entirely on him if he's not booking himself to talk like Barney the Dinosaur.
No, well, he's not blaming the guy. He's talking about the character of John
Cena. Yes, thank you,
Oh,
Mike. I am talking about the character. I am talking about what they have made him into. Yes. And the fact that he is contractually obligated to say the champ is here every time he comes out on the fucking stage.
You agree with me?
It's ridiculous.
That's what we were saying. The booking has been bad and made every babyface hero look like shit.
What about The Rock? Every time he comes out, he says the same exact thing.
Oh, yeah.
The Rock is here in this city. If you smell... Let me just go on and talk about pie for 5 minutes. Cheap pop for the city because I love it.
At least The Rock makes it interesting.
Not really. It's the same.
Yeah, he does.
John Cena for adults that love the Attitude Era. That's exactly what The Rock is.
I remember when they were going into their first match, John Cena was definitely cutting the better promos leading to that, by far.
Catchphrase.
John Cena rap was 10 times better than The Rock concert was last year. I will say that.
Yep. All right, guys, I think I'm going to let that wrap up the conversation for today. We got really far from Raw, which is always okay, but that's what Smack Talk and Keeping Kayfabe is for. And it's getting late. It's past midnight now. Guys, we're going to go around the horn here. We're just going to give some plugs of where people can follow us and other projects we're doing. We'll start with Paul. Paul, where can people find you? What are you doing with your life?
I will be DJing again at the Shack in Black Earth, Wisconsin this weekend on Saturday. And coming up, the July 4th weekend, I will be DJing around Richland Center, Wisconsin. So if you follow me on Facebook, keep your ear to the ground, and I will keep you updated on what I'm doing.
Beautiful. Drew, what's going on in your world? You're the guy who has the bouncy house business, right?
Oh, yeah, I was actually going to plug that.
He tried to blame me for that last weekend.
Okay, first and foremost, I am a regular poster on Tony's fanboysanonymous.com, so you should go there. But also, if you live in the Indianapolis, Indiana area, and you need a bounce house for anything, either it's for a party or, like small get-together, or maybe a school function, whatever you need to, call 765-212-1521, which is Big Blast Rentals, or you can go to bigblastrentals.com, and you can see all of our fun and fine selection of bounce houses, ranging from the 3-in-1, where you can get a big old water slide. Oh, man.
Drew, will you bring me a bouncy house with a water slide right now? I live in Muncie.
Sure. Actually, it costs $170.
Oh my God, this website's awesome. There's like a Home Alone kid, like with his hands clasped across his face, and he goes, "Oh no, Mom and Dad forgot Big Blast Rentals."
I wasn't joking. It exists.
Bring it by. We'll have fun. Whatever.
Dude, let's go for it.
Oh, man, there's one that has Sergeant Slaughter on it.
That's the one.
What Drew didn't mention is that the Home Alone kid is him.
No, it's not me. It is not me, thankfully. Okay, I think I'm done.
Okay. Let's take things over to Chris Jester. Tell us what's wonderful in your world, man.
Everything's wonderful. You guys can follow me on Twitter at @ThatJesterKid. My Twitter handle might be changing soon. If it does, I'll let everyone know on Keeping Kayfabe, Smack Talk, all that stuff. But for now, that's what it is. I got stuff coming up. Just keep an eye out for it. I'll be at the Pokemon Trading Card Game National Championships next weekend, so if you live in Indiana and you're going to be there, check it out.
Woo! Yeah.
We all wish Chris Jester very good luck in that.
I, do really, really well at Nationals and do poorly at every other tournament I play in. It's just weird.
Thunderbolt!
I might use Thunderbolt.
I'm actually show up at that. Where's that at?
It's to the Indianapolis Convention Center.
You know what? I might make a sneak peek down there because I might go down there.
They have free side events going on all day too, and there's all kinds of cool stuff going on, and it's just really fun, Come by.
All right,
look for me.
I'll look for you.
All right, cool.
That sounded slightly sexual.
I hope it was. That's what I was crossing my fingers for.
That's all it was.
Yeah, if you go to the website, add a coin hole to your party, it takes me to reading after this.
Are we still talking about my website? Oh, man, let's take a look at it. Oh, yeah, you can add a cornhole board. I forgot about that.
There you go, Jester.
Braeden, what you got going on?
Flipping it over to me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's, of course, www.youtube.com/Spoonbees for everything recent in terms of mainly Nintendo gaming, but I do touch upon PlayStation, though I do not do any videos Xbox-related, though that can change in terms of audience demand. No, not really. You can also follow me on Twitter. That's, of course, @SpoonBeast, and I guess that's basically about it. Because Tony's basically going to be plugging everything else that I'm involved with in terms of his projects, and he's going to be going up next, so...
All right. I think that was the most professional of us all.
I'm not following your channel unless you do Xbox videos, Braeden.
Yeah. Oh, snap.
He said do Xbox videos.
Yeah. That's the only kind, right?
All right, let's take it over to Tony Mango.
All right, if you don't know it by now, fuck you.
We don't have any new viewers or anything.
All right, we'll run it down anyway. What the hell?
Come on, Tony, Anonymous.
FanboysAnonymous.com for all things geek. OutOnLimbs.com for all your social commentary of me complaining about the world and all you sick people in it. We've got Smack Talk, obviously, SmarkOutMoment.com, and YouTube.com/SmarkOutMoment is where you can find all wrestling stuff related to a Mango tree and all things like that. You can check me out on Bleacher Report at Anthony Mango, Facebook, Twitter, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Hit the repeat button. Paden?
Oh, it's beautiful, man. All right, you've been listening to the Raw post-game show here on Mega Powers Radio. We are live every Monday night immediately following Monday Night Raw here at MegaPowersRadio.com or BlogTalkRadio.com/MegaPowersRadio. You can also listen to other great programs on here, such as Geek Speak on Tuesday nights, where we talk about all things geek. We also have a new show premiering this Wednesday for the first week here. We have the Dace Man Show with Chris Dace, which is going to be a general entertainment, whatever the hell he's going to be talking about show with a very entertaining character named Chris Dace, who's a friend with many people here on the show. And then also on Saturdays, we have I Got Gameplay with Michael Burhan, who also was not here this evening, but he'll be around. And what was that? The Chris Man Show is my... I Got Gameplay on Saturday nights with Michael Burhan, where we talk about gameplay. And, of course, I also want to push my other show I have, Keeping Kayfabe, which is on Thursday nights at 9 p.m., head-to-head with TNA Impact. It's the Thursday Night Wars. We are live every Thursday night at 9 p.m. on blogtalkradio.com/Dream Elite. That's Dream Elite Radio. And if you want to follow me personally, I'm Mike Paden. I'm on all social media with the handle MrPaden. That's Mr. Paden. And that's all I got for you guys for myself. So thank you for listening here on Mega Powers Radio. I'm Mike Paden, for Tony Mango, for Paul Hibbard, for Drew White, For Chris Jester and for Braeden Mayhew, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time here on Mega Powers Radio.